Should you get a driver's license? Let's figure this out together. Stick around. Hi everybody, welcome to So You Wanna Live in Bahia. My name is Kitty and I'm a gringa living here in Salvador, Bahia, Brazil for 11 years. And I'm a licensed real estate agent and I have my driver's license here. So let's figure this out. Do you need a driver's license? Now, legally, if you've been here for more than 180 days, the law says you need to get one. So, should you? Okay, if you happen to be driving and you've been here for more than 180 days, I would suggest don't have your passport on you, or if you have it on you, don't show policemen. Don't know if that's legal advice, but because otherwise, how can they prove that you've been here more than 180 days, right? Now here's the thing. If you own a car, I would say please get a driver's license because it makes no sense not to. You've obviously been here long enough to have a car. So, decided you want to get a driver's license because you probably should, you don't want problems. I got my driver's license when I got my car because also where I was living on the highway, there was 2 checkpoints, there still is, 2 checkpoints. Police checkpoints, and they can randomly pull you over as they feel like it. And I thought, you know, at some point they're gonna pull me over and they're gonna notice and they're gonna be like, nope, you need to get a driver's license. So to avoid having those sort of problems, I just got the driver's license. Now, how do you get a driver's license? Let's go over the steps, okay? First of all, if you already have a driver's license in the US or wherever country you're coming from, then it makes it easier. What you need to do is you need to get your driver's license translated, and a tradução juramentada, meaning it has to be an official translation. Now there's one woman in town that does it. She's very busy, but basically it should be okay. Any online service should be okay for getting this translated. And one thing that you should know, for California at least, the class driver's license I have in California means that I can be a truck driver here. So that was confusing, okay? So if they ask you, do you need to be class C or whatever class it was, be like, no, I'm just a regular driver, because then there's more steps. I was gonna just be a truck driver here with my driver's license, but there were extra steps and fees, and I was like, oh no, screw it, no, it's a regular driver's license. So get that translated. You're also going to need proof of comprovante de residência, proof of where you live. And actually, let's go on the site right now. This is the Deltron site. No, not Deltron. For the longest time, I thought it was Deltron because of this band. Not Deltron. All right, so let's go on the site now. So we want to go to the SACI site, SACI Digital Bahia. All government services except for your residency are going to be done through this site. So we're going to go to Deltron. There you see there's the first one, that's the one you want. That's permissão para dirigir. And then you're going to see here in Salvador there's 11 places, 11 SACI where you can do it. And I just do it SACI Bahia, it's closest to me. And now see documentos necessários. So we'll see here, number 1 is a current photo of you in perfect state. And then you need a CPF as well, that's important. And 3 is comprovante de residência. Very good to get the Koala in your name because that is your perfect form of comprovante de residência, proof of where you live. And then number 4 is the relatório médico de avaliação de sanidade física e mental. Interesting, so they call this like a psychological test, but I've done it and it actually seems more like a intelligence test. The test has, the psychological test you take has the different images like of blocks of shapes, and you have to guess, okay, if this is here and this is here, what would be the logical conclusion? Stuff like that. Another part of the test, if it hasn't changed, took it 6 years ago, is you do little marks on a piece of paper. You have to follow directions. They have to be the same size, they have to be the same distance apart, and you stop when they tell you to stop. And that test maybe takes about an hour. And almost everyone I know, just about everyone but one person I know passed it. So not that hard. What's really crazy is that I got my driver's license, and I didn't know any of the rules on the road. In California, for instance, you can make a right-hand turn on a red light if it's safe to do so. Unless there's a sign saying you can't, but usually it's okay. And I wasn't sure if that was legal or not. It's not. So you don't learn any of the road rules here, which is inconvenient. Sometimes you end up learning the hard way. I learned about all the cameras on the road that track your speed. I learned that the hard way. I just got a ticket the other day. They're all over the place. And so you have to be careful. If you see people driving slow in a certain little bend, a certain part of the road, just drive slow as well, because there's probably a camera there that you haven't noticed. So let's go over the prices. These prices are just approximate. I did this recently, which is why I decided to do a video on it. And I'll show you, took some undercover photos there, nothing entirely exciting. So you pay about 200 reais to Deltron, and when I did it, they took my photo. I came with the, ID, proof of residency, and then after that, on the boleto, which is the piece of paper you pay that has a código de barra, a barcode on it. It had the information of one of the clínica de motoristas in town, and it was probably the one that's closest to Bahia, which is in Canela, and that's where I went. And you'll see in this video footage is right here. You know what? I drove there and I had a hard time finding parking, and I didn't realize there's parking on the premises, so you could park there, I think, for free. And then this is where you would take a class to do the test, the psychological test. Now, once you pass the psychological test, you don't have to do it anymore. I went just for an exam, and they used this weird thing here on my eyes to make sure that I can see. And it turns out, in 6 years, my eyesight, I actually need glasses now. So I tried to take the test without the glasses. I couldn't make out anything on there. And then they take your blood pressure, and you have to squeeze this thing with your hand to see if you're strong in your hands. All right, so now let's talk about the fees and how this works. So you're gonna go to the Deltron site, and you're gonna make an appointment, and then you're gonna get the option to download a boleto, a bill to pay, and you have to pay that. And I think not all banks accept it. You should go to the lotérica and pay it in cash. So I did that, and then when I showed up to my appointment, I had the proof that I paid already, the comprovante de residência showing that I live here, a current ID in perfect state, and ideally you've already taken the class that you need to take, and you show that to them as well. In my case, I hadn't, because I wasn't able to get through to the school, and I just sort of forgot, but I ended up doing it afterwards. So when you show up to the Deltron appointment, you have to have paid about almost 200 reais to them. And then to do the class, I think it's somewhere around 300 reais. Okay? For me to renew was 128 reais, because all I had to do was a simple medical exam. And if you do not have a driver's license, then this whole thing can cost more than 2,000 reais, because you'll have to take driver's education here. One good thing that happened recently, it happened under the last president, so I don't know if it's going to be overturned, but driver's licenses were good for maybe 5 years, and now if you're under the age of 50, they're good for 10 years, so you don't have to keep renewing all the time. If you're over the age of 50, I think you have to renew every 6 years. So that's it. I think it's a great thing to do if you have a car here, for sure. Just bite the bullet. I'm glad I did, because my license expired in the US, so now I have a driver's license. That's good, because how am I going to rent a car anywhere without a valid driver's license? Anyhow, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I hope that was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment as well if you like, and I'll see you next time. Beijos!